Imagine you walk down a city street, crowds surround you, but a chill runs down your spine. Someone is watching, you glance over your shoulder, nothing, but the feeling persists. An unseen observer tracks your every move. This unsettling sensation, once confined to the pages of dystopian novels, is edging closer to reality. We are entering an age of unprecedented surveillance, where technology blurs the lines between security and intrusion. From traffic cameras to facial recognition software, our lives are increasingly recorded and analyzed. But the most powerful tools of observation remain hidden from view, orbiting silently above us: spy satellites. These sophisticated machines, once the exclusive domain of superpowers, are becoming smaller, cheaper, and more accessible. This proliferation raises profound questions about privacy, security, and the future of freedom in a world without shadows. The story of surveillance from space began not with espionage, but with scientific curiosity. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first artificial satellite, into orbit. This event sparked the space race, a technological rivalry between the US and USSR. Early satellites were primarily used for scientific research and mapping. However, their potential for military observation quickly became apparent. The first dedicated spy satellite, Corona, was launched by the United States in 1960. Corona's mission to photograph Soviet military installations, providing crucial intelligence during the Cold War. Over the following decades, spy satellite technology advanced rapidly. Cameras became more powerful, resolutions sharper, and orbits more sophisticated. Spy satellites evolved from simple cameras in space to complex, multifunctional systems. Early satellites like Corona could only take photographs, which were then ejected in capsules and retrieved mid-air by aircraft. Modern spy satellites, however, can transmit images and data back to Earth in real time. They utilize advanced optics, infrared sensors, and radar to observe the planet day and night, even piercing through cloud cover. The information gathered by these satellites is no longer limited to military targets. Governments and private companies use satellite imagery for a wide range of purposes, including monitoring environmental changes, tracking natural disasters, assessing agricultural yields, and managing urban development. While these applications seem benign, the underlying technology raises concerns about the potential for misuse. In recent years, a new player has entered the field of satellite surveillance: SpaceX, the private spaceflight company founded by Elon Musk. SpaceX's Starlink project aims to provide global internet coverage through a constellation of thousands of small satellites in low Earth orbit. While SpaceX claims Starlink is solely for communication purposes, the sheer number and capabilities of these satellites have raised eyebrows. Experts point out that Starlink's technology could potentially be used for surveillance purposes, intentionally or unintentionally. The involvement of private companies like SpaceX in satellite deployment adds another layer of complexity to an already murky landscape. It raises questions about regulation, oversight, and the potential for unchecked surveillance in the wrong hands. Section 5. Peering through the clouds: capabilities of modern spy satellites. Modern spy satellites are technological marvels equipped with an array of sensors that provide an unprecedented view of our planet. High-resolution optical cameras can capture images with incredible detail, allowing analysts to identify objects as small as a car license plate from hundreds of miles away. Infrared sensors detect heat signatures, useful for tracking troop movements, identifying underground facilities, and monitoring volcanic activity. Synthetic aperture radar, or SAR, bounces microwave signals off the Earth's surface, creating images even through cloud cover and darkness. SAR can penetrate foliage, revealing hidden structures and vehicles. These capabilities, combined with advanced data processing and artificial intelligence, allow for constant monitoring and analysis of vast areas of the Earth's surface. Section 6. The invisible boundary: legality and ethics in space. The legal framework governing spy satellites is complex and often ambiguous. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967, ratified by over 100 countries, establishes space as a global commons free for exploration and use by all. However, the treaty does not explicitly prohibit military activities or surveillance from space. This legal gray area has allowed nations to develop and deploy spy satellites with few restrictions. The ethical implications of constant surveillance from space are even more challenging. While proponents argue that spy satellites are essential for national security and intelligence gathering, critics raise concerns about privacy violations and the erosion of civil liberties. The ability to monitor individuals and groups from afar, without their knowledge or consent, raises fundamental questions about the balance between security and freedom in the 21st century. Section 7. Living under the watchful gaze. The implications of constant surveillance. The increasing prevalence of surveillance technologies, including spy satellites, is gradually normalizing the idea of constant observation. We're becoming accustomed to living in a world where our movements, communications, and even our thoughts are potentially monitored and analyzed. This normalization of surveillance can have a chilling effect on freedom of expression, association, and assembly. When people feel like they are constantly being watched, they are less likely to engage in dissenting or controversial activities, even if they are perfectly legal. Furthermore, the vast amounts of data collected through surveillance can be misused for malicious purposes. Governments or corporations could potentially use this data to target individuals based on their political beliefs, religious affiliations, or other sensitive factors. Section 8. The price of security privacy in the digital age. The debate over surveillance often pits security against privacy, framing it as a zero-sum game. However, this is a false dichotomy. Security and privacy are not mutually exclusive. They are two sides of the same coin. A society that sacrifices privacy in the name of security risks creating a climate of fear and distrust. It also becomes vulnerable to abuses of power by those who control the surveillance apparatus. Moreover, true security cannot be achieved through constant monitoring alone. It requires addressing the root causes of conflict, promoting social justice, and fostering a culture of respect for human rights. Section 9. The future of surveillance. A world without secrets? As technology continues to advance at an exponential pace, the capabilities of surveillance systems will only become more sophisticated and pervasive. Artificial intelligence, facial recognition, and predictive policing algorithms are already being integrated into surveillance networks, raising the specter of an automated surveillance state. In a world where every move is tracked, recorded, and analyzed, the very concept of privacy could become obsolete. This raises profound philosophical and ethical questions about what it means to be human in a digital age. Section 10. Reclaiming our privacy. A call for transparency and control. The erosion of privacy is not inevitable. We can still reclaim control over our personal information and set limits on surveillance. This requires a multi-pronged approach, raising public awareness about the pervasiveness of surveillance and its impact on our lives, advocating for strong legal frameworks that protect privacy rights and limit government surveillance powers, supporting organizations that fight for digital rights and hold corporations accountable for their data collection practices, developing and using privacy-enhancing technologies that empower individuals to control their online data. The future of privacy depends on our collective willingness to resist the normalization of surveillance and demand a world where security and freedom can coexist. We must not allow ourselves to become accustomed to living in a world without shadows. The time to act is now.